11.5. The best two things, just in case I didn't say it for you or if you are absent. 11.4, we are skipping. The majority of Unit 11 is, do you understand the types of angles? Alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, corresponding angles. All that is what you need to know from sections 1, 2, how to prove lines that are parallel. That's what we did that quiz on. If you notice, all 15 questions had something to do with those types of angles. We're skipping section 4 and we're going directly to section 5, which is on triangles. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 2 examples, and I have these 2 triangles that I made, and I wanted to make one triangle that was a right triangle, and I wanted to make one triangle that was an obtuse triangle that was scalene. So this is my right triangle, and this is my one that's obtuse, that has an angle greater than 90 degrees. You see it? Okay, now here's what I'm going to do with my triangle. I am going to take these 2 triangles, just watch this. I'm going to label this angle angle 1, I'm going to label this angle 2, and this angle 3. There's 3 angles in this triangle. Angle 2 is the right angle, right? Okay. I'm going to take this triangle and I'm going to label this angle 1 and this angle 2 and then this angle 3. It doesn't matter which one is which. What I want to show you is a property about triangles that you may have been told before, but you may not have ever seen it done this way. Don't need it right now. Unless it's a question. You have a question? All right. Exactly. There we go. So here's what I'm going to show you. Absolutely. There you go. Pass that back, please. So now what we are going to do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to draw this line. Yeah, I'm going to draw it kind of big. Right there. And I know you know this, but how many degrees are in a straight line? Okay. So let me just show you with my protractor from here all the way to there. There's 180 degrees. Right? I'm going to put this little vertex right there. There's my dot. 180 degrees. Well, I'm going to take this triangle and I'm going to start drawing some angles, okay? First, I'm going to draw angle 1. Here's angle 1. I'm going to put one side right there on the line, and I'm going to put the other side. I'm just going to draw angle 1 so that this is the same size as angle 1. Do you agree with me? Is that the same size as angle 1? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate my triangle, and I'm going to line up one side here that is angle 2 with that side, and so that I have angle 2 right there. You see it? Do you agree that angle 2 is the same size? Well, guess what? Here it is. Here's the big momentous climax of this whole thing. Here's angle 3. Watch this. Is that the same size? Does it fit perfectly there? Do you know what that means? What does... Oh, it fits! Yes! But what does it mean? Not all triangles add up to 180. That's not specific enough. All angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. This angle, angle 1, plus angle 2, plus angle 3 adds up to 180 degrees. Matter of fact, it doesn't matter if I use a right triangle or if I use an obtuse triangle. It's still going to work. I'll do a separate line over here. I'm going to just add a little bit of a line. I'm going to put another vertex right there where that dot is. And I'm going to use my obtuse triangle. And remember, it doesn't matter which one I start with. I'm going to start with angle 1. Line up one side. Connect the dot. I'm going to label this angle 1. Angle 1. Do you agree that that is the same size as angle 1? Which one do you want to do next, 2 or 3? Ooh, I heard 2. I'm going to go with it. Nice skinny angle. Ooh, look at that. It's a skinny angle. We'll put 2 right there. Put it on the vertex. And... oh, I don't know. I might have fudged that one a little bit. Let me... because remember, the more accurate I am, the better that third angle will be if I do this correctly. If I don't do it correctly, then it will not fit at the end if I have a margin of error. Okay, so there's angle 1, there's angle 2. Guess what this angle should be the same size as? Should be. So rotate, 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 rotate. Oh, like a glove. Look at how good that fits. It's amazing. It's almost like it was supposed to fit there. And guess what? It was. It works every single time. So this is what we're going to write down for our very first statement. The sum of all 3 angles of a triangle equals 180 degrees. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. The sum of all 3 angles of a triangle equals 180 degrees. I kind of feel bad for anybody who comes and gets a copy of my notes because they're going to go, what the heck was this? They're going to have no clue. But you all will know what that means. You'll say, oh yeah, he took a triangle, one triangle, and flipped it each corner, put it in a slot, drew a line, and then it fit to make a straight line. I'm hoping that you carry that with you and remember it always. The sum of all 3 angles of a triangle equals 180 degrees. So that brings us to our example number 4. Example number 4 looks like this. Triangle. 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 Bottom of the triangle. 64 degrees. 28 degrees. Z degrees. Y degrees. X degrees. 39 degrees. You can't hardly see that, so I'm going to zoom in a lot on it so you can see what my drawing looks like. Focus. This says 64 degrees. This one here says 28 degrees. This bottom left is Z degrees. This is Y degrees. This is X degrees. And this one says 39 degrees. Let me try to make a 9 better than that. 39 degrees. There are 2 triangles here. And we're going to do this piece by piece. So the very first piece, so we're going to have to find X, Y, and Z. Blank, blank, blank. That's what we're trying to find. X equals how many degrees? Y equals how many degrees? And Z equals how many degrees? I don't want an answer, Ray.
Oh, I know how to do it.
I know. I don't want that either yet. So when we look at number 4, you're going to have to make a decision as to where do I start? Let me cover up one of these triangles. I'm going to cover this one up right there. And do you have enough information to figure out what Z and Y is right off the bat? Do you have 2 variables? It's impossible to solve an equation if you have 2 unknown values. It really is, unless you have two equations. We don't have enough information for that left triangle yet. Now, let me cover up the left triangle. Do you have one unknown value? You can actually figure out what that one is because you have one unknown. What do you know that we just wrote down about triangles and what they should add up to be? Okay, so three angles should add up to 180. This angle plus this angle plus this angle should equal. So there's your first equation. Tell me what to write down. Right now I can use your help. What equation do I write down?
34 plus 28.
I think that's a 39. Let me look again.
38.
It is a 39. 39.
39 plus 28 plus x is equal to 180.
There's our first equation. 39 plus 28 plus x equals 180. I like to combine like terms first because these are on the same side. I like to add those together, which is
57 plus x is equal to 180.
I don't think it's
No,
57.
67, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's 67.
Let me check my it's 67.
That makes more sense to me. Then I like to use the subtraction property of equality and figure out what x is. If you need a calculator, use a calculator. I got, what did you get? I got 113 as well. There's our first answer. I'm going to put a little dot around it because it's not our final answer because we were asked to find three things. I've only found one thing. Hang on, Ray. So now that I know this angle, and earlier I told you you can't figure out this other one because you have two unknowns. So what we have to do is we have to use something that we just found to help us find something else. If you know, zoom out just a little bit. Save it, Ray. Save it. If you know that this angle is 113 degrees, you should see something else, some other angle that we can figure out using this 113. If you see and you know this angle, look at what's next to it, and is it supplementary? Is it a linear pair? The linear pair that adds up to be another straight line. Do you see it? These two angles? So if that's 113, what could I do to figure out what y is? That's what I want you to think about. If you know what to do, go ahead and do it. If you know what to do, go ahead and do it. We don't want the answer right now, Ray. I'll confirm if you did the math. I'll show you what I did if you got stuck. Right below here, I did this minus this equals that. This is what I got. Tell me how many, raise your hand if you got 67 degrees. Good, good. That's almost 50% of my class. Good job. Once you have this piece of information, now you have this other angle, 1, 2 angles. You could find what the third one is. This plus this should equal plus this. These three should add up to 180, and you know this one. Now you know this one. All right, one more equation. 64 plus our new angle, 67, plus z degrees should also add up to 180 degrees. Oh, you can't see that. It's off the screen. Here we go. 64 plus 67 plus z equals 180. 131. You go ahead and work it out. Then use the subtraction property of equality. I'm going to ask everybody, Ray. If you got 49, raise your hand, please. Ooh, that's over 50%. Good job. And we found all three angles. So you're going to have to do things step by step. Some of the problems are easier than this. Some of the problems are harder than this. But this is a nice medium level problem just so that you're aware. The next thing I want to talk about are exterior angles. Let me move this up just a bit. Exterior angles of a triangle are supplementary. Underline that word. Let me get my highlighter too. Exterior angles of a triangle are supplementary. That's our key word. The sum of all three angles equals 180 of a triangle. Let's do that. If you don't know what an exterior angle is, I'm going to show you an example. I'm not going to do the whole problem, but I want you to know what an exterior angle is. It looks like this, and this is number 8. Bless you. $30, 99 degrees, and I'm going to put a question mark right there. The question mark is an exterior angle. I'm just going to draw a picture. I'm going to draw the picture so that you know this is the exterior angle. Think of the angles inside the triangle as interior, just like before, and anything outside the triangle made by extending one side is called an exterior angle. So how are we going to do it? You can do it in two ways. It's supplementary. This angle is supplementary with which angle? This one right here. You're going to have to find this one first by doing what we learned before. You have to add these up to 180 degrees, figure out what this angle is, and then this one also should be supplementary to that angle there. Does that make sense? In Math 2, you'll learn a property about this. We're not going to break out the property just yet, but let's do number 8. Let's do it together since we're almost here. We're close. That angle says 30 degrees plus 99 degrees. Now we might as well throw in some letters. Even though it's not there, we should probably throw in that this is an X and this is a Y. We're probably going to need to find X and find Y first. Hang on, Ray. We can't let it be a one.
No, I have more of a question.
What's your question?
Is the property that the two angles that are given is equal to the exterior angle?
You're saying it incorrectly, but you're close.
Like those two angles over there. The two angles in the triangle that are not missing are equal to the angle on the outside.
You're very close. The sum of the two remote interior angles is equal to the exterior angle. That's a property you would learn in Math 2. So good. You're on the right track. You just didn't say the sum of. You just said those two angles. That doesn't make, and you got to make mathematical sense with it. Okay? Plus this missing angle, I'm going to call it X. It's not there, but I'm going to label that angle as X, okay? I'm going to do that after the fact. Should equal 180 degrees. I know that 99 plus 30 is about 130, one less than 130, which is 129. And so this X angle, the little small one, is going to be, 60 would be too much, 51 degrees. But that's not the angle we're looking for. We're going to be looking for this question mark angle. I'm going to call that angle Y. And exterior angles are supplementary. That means this X and that Y need to add to be 180 degrees. So then I can do 180 minus 51 should equal our missing angle. Do a little bit of math, plug it into a calculator. You're going to figure out that that angle is 129 degrees. Pretty simple. Let's do one last one that is harder. This will be our last one. It's number 17. I'm going to squeeze it in right there. Number 17 looks like this. 3x, 4x minus 1. The directions are going to say find x and the measure of the angles. Do you have a question, Ray?
No.
Then hit your hand down. So we have this 3x in the bottom left corner. We have the 4x minus 1 in the top corner. We have this little square box in the bottom right corner. And it says find x and the measure of the angles. This time you don't have any degree measurements other than this one right here. You should know what this little square means and how many degrees it is. How many degrees is this square? 90 degrees. Perfect. And then this and this and the 90 should all add up to be, just like we did before, it adds up to be a straight line. What does that mean? How many degrees do all three of these add up to be? So then in your work, which I'll put over here, we have 3x plus 4x minus 1 plus 90 degrees should equal 180 degrees. It's a long equation. But don't freak out about it. You guys can do this. You've been doing this since the beginning of the school year. What is 3x plus 4x? Combine like terms? Just add them together. You guys know what that is. Go ahead and say it out loud. 3x plus 4x is? Good job. The -1 and the 90, since they're on the same side, combine them, just put them together. What is the -1 plus 90 going to be? Positive 89. Let's put the plus sign there, please. Equals 180. And then I'm going to have to subtract 89 from both sides. Let me just write that down so I know what I'm doing. On my left side, I'm going to have 7x. On the right side, I have 180 minus 89. Someone with a calculator, please. Thank you, the calculator people. I don't know if 7 goes in evenly. Find out for me. Divide by 7. It does go in. So x is 13. That's the first part of the question. Never stop when you just find x. We found x, but it said find x and the measure of the angle. So now that I know this is 13, Do you know how to figure out what this left corner is? What are you going to do? So what is 3 times 13? 3 times 13 is 39 degrees. I'm going to put another little circle around that because that's the second answer. We got to find this other angle. We already know this one's 90, but this top angle. 4 times 13 minus 1, or you can subtract that if you want to subtract it from 180, should equal. And that is the last set of notes for the entire school year. Woo!